God takes care of his people. He takes care of his people. There was famine in the land, and when God takes care of something, he takes care of it. Amen? He takes care of it. It's important that you see those kinds of things. It says very definitely, you, your children, and your grandchildren. See, important things, I believe God laid that on Joseph's heart. Joseph was gone for many, many of those years. I'm sure he didn't even know a lot of those kids. Think about it a little bit. He was gone for a long time. He didn't know his nieces and nephews. Or at least a lot of them, probably most of them. He didn't know them, but he said, bring them along, and I will see to it that they're taken care of. I believe that was by God's design. I believe it doesn't say here that God said to tell him that, but I believe it was by God's design. God was in charge of that whole story, amen? Mm-hmm. He was in charge of that whole story. Turn to Psalm 103, verses 17 and 18. God's love, though, is ever and always eternally present to all who fear him, making everything right for them and who? And their children, as they follow his covenant ways and remember to do whatever he said. And the children, this is playing forward. Can you see it? It's playing forward. The blessing is playing forward. Psalms 128, verse 5 and 6. May the Lord bless you from Zion all the days of your life. May you see the prosperity of Jerusalem, and may you live to see your children's what? Children. May you live to see your children's children. This is awesome stuff, guys. Proverbs 13:22. A good man, now listen to this, leaves an inheritance for whom? His children's children. His children's children. Most of us are happy if we can get by to the end.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
We are so selfish. We are not even considering the fact that we're not only supposed to leave an inheritance for our children, but our children's what?
Children.
Our children's children. Now, inheritance does not only mean money. I've taught this in child training. It does not only mean money or physical property.
That's right.
It means a legacy, church. You need to be leaving a legacy for your children's children. For your children's children. We're going to go into that a little bit more later. What kind of a legacy are we leaving? It's important for us to know that. It's important for us to know that. A legacy. 17 verse 6. Another one. Children's children are a crown to the aged, and parents are the pride of their children. Children's children, in other words, your grandchildren, are a crown to the aged. In other words, we are distinguished by our grandchildren. Our grandchildren is what makes us distinguished. It puts a whole new perspective on just having kids. A whole new perspective about just having kids. It's a huge, huge responsibility. It's a huge responsibility. Ezekiel 37. (25 to 27), or 24 to 27, whatever. They'll follow my laws and keep my statutes. They'll live in the same land I gave my servant Jacob, the land where your ancestors lived. They and their children and what? Their grandchildren will live there forever, and my servant David will be their prince forever. I'll make covenant of peace with them, and will hold everything together, an everlasting covenant. I'll make them secure and place my holy place of worship at the center of their lives forever. I'll live right there with them. I will be their God, and they will be my people. How many of you want to know that your children's grandchildren are going to be living in that state? It's important for us to realize that God, although He is an individual God, He's also a generational God. When He makes promises to a righteous man, guess what happens? It happens. It happens. It happens. We want to see blessings follow down our bloodlines. My question to you this morning is, are we building the ark to save our family? Are we building the ark that will save our family? It's very quiet in here. Why did I know that would happen?
It's good.
I told you I wanted to talk about Snow White. Are we building the ark that will see to it that our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren will live in a state of salvation? You can do that, you know.
Yes.
It has to be through Jesus, but we are planting seeds now. We are laying foundations now. Let's go through it for a walk. Turn back with me to Hebrews. I want to go for a walk here with you. It's called the walk of faith. And there's some things here we need to build our ark. We're going to find them here. We're going to find them here. First of all, 11 verse 1. The fundamental fact of existence is that this trust in God, this faith, is the firm foundation under everything that makes life worth living. Faith. Faith, 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 faith. Trust in God. Trust in God, trust in God. We need to be able to push that forward another generation. Are we trusting God in such a way that it's laying and leaving a legacy for our children? Are we trusting God? It says here, it's our handle on what we can't see. The act of faith is what distinguished our ancestors, set them above the crown or the crowd. They were set above the crowd. We use them to this very day as examples. These ones, our ancestors right here. By faith, it says, we see the world called into existence by God's words. What we see created by what we don't see. Do you know that our words still create things today?
That's right.
God created the world with His words, and we are creating an ark. And it's going to either sink